Yes, so I should mention that I've been spending some time with the virtual O'Flaherty's Irish Music Retreat. And one of the features is an instant messaging thing where I can set up a channel relating to virtual song and tune sessions such as this one. And a number of folks have expressed an interest from various places, so we should be seeing some new faces in the weeks to come, just to give you a heads up on that. Okay, so this is a song that I entered in the original Irish music, that's original Irish song contest at O'Flaherty. And you can judge for yourself whether it's original enough to be considered. It'll be interesting to see what they have to say about it. The poetry is by William Butler Yeats, and the tune is from Carolyn. The poem is called The Song of Wandering Angus, and the tune is called Colonel John Irwin. Out to the hazel wood because the fire was in my head. Cut and peeled a hazel bun and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. Hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone, and kiss her lips and take her hand, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done, silver apples of the moon, golden apples of the sun. And walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done, silver apples of the moon, golden apples of the sun.
Good stuff.
Lovely tune too.
Yeah. Seems like I might have heard that once before.
Yeah.
Not for a while. Haven't done it in a while.
You know, my wife's last name is Yates, same as William Butler Yeats, Yeats, and the origin of that is coming through Ellis Island. Her Russian Jewish family, whose name was some Russian unpronounceable, very Jewish name, decided that they would rather be Yeats because the grandfather was a big fan of William Butler. So,
oh, I thought
that's why my very Jewish wife has a very Irish name.
So was it anything like Yatzelkov?
Something like it was Yenties. That's what it was. Yeah.
I see.
Oh.
As long as they weren't Yentas.
No, they were. They were.
Okay. Well, let's see.
They were minches.
Not Jewish puns too, please.
Not women's. Okay, well, the next.
I've always wondered about Irish Mexican music because in the 19th century there was this whole Mexican settlement program that I guess it was the Mexicans or the Spanish at this point. I don't know. But there ended up being quite a population in northern Mexico of Irish folk. And they wanted to attract good, steady Catholic peasant stock to develop Mexico. And so they fought on the Mexican side in the Texas War of, the Texas Revolution, but I'm sure it's called something else on the Mexican side. And they formed the San Patricio Brigade, La Brigada San Patricio, and they fought for the Mexicans. Right. But I've always wondered if there was some musical influence, but I've never been able to find it.
There is an entire record, Terry, which you should hear sometime. The Chieftains have an album called San Patricio.
Oh, I'll check that out.
I'm going to check that too with my mother because she keeps bragging that her grandmother had red hair. And she has some Irish blood, and she always said, like, let's celebrate St. Patrick's. So I'm going to ask her, and maybe one of these days I will sing.
Maybe you will collect a Celtic Mexican song for us.
Yeah.
It was all weapons training to take on the Brits. That's really what it was. So.
Right.
Yeah, they just had that ocean to overcome to get to the Brits. Let's see. The next sacrificial lamb here is Terry.
Okay.
So let's mute all. Here we go. Okay, don't forget to unmute, Terry.
Okay, here's a seafaring song. One of those naughty nautical songs called the New York Girls. As I walked down on Chatham Street, a fair maid I did meet. She asked if I would home, she lived on Bleecker Street. And when we got to Bleecker Street, we stopped at 44. Her mother and her sister they met me at the door. And it's all the way, Annie, my dear Annie. Oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? And when I got inside the house, the drinks were passed around. The liquor was so awful strong, my head went round and round. And then we had another drink before we sat to eat. Well, the liquor was so very strong, I quickly fell asleep. And it's always Annie, my dear Annie. Oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? Yeah, sorry, wait. next morning I had an aching head, and there was I, Jack, all alone, stark naked in the bed. My go watch and me pocketbook and lady friend were gone, and there was I, Jack, all alone, stark naked in the room. It's Holloway Shanty, my dear Annie. Oh, you New York girls, can't you dance the polka? I really should practice before I do these things. On looking around this little room, there's nothing I could see but a woman's shifting apron that were no use to me. With the flour barrel for a suit of clothes down Cherry Street forlorn, there Martin Churchill took me in and sent me round Cape Horn. And it's Holloway Shanty, my dear Annie. Oh, you New York girls, can't you dance the polka?
Yay, Terry!
Yay!
Thank you.
Yay, yay. Very nice.
Hey,
Oh, ship shape.
everybody unmute themselves. If you're going to talk, you don't have to if you're not going to say anything. Tom, I've been kind of wondering what's holding you up above that guitar.
That was more interesting than what's holding the water up, you know.
Oh, I see. You're on your head. Okay. Well, he is trying to be on our heads, but he's not saying much. He's just sitting there.
All right, Rick. You're the poet of the moment, and I applaud you. Your puns are amazingly repetitive.
Well, okay. I wasn't fishing for compliments, but
All right, the water's fine. Come on in.
Mr. Chip, I think it's time for you to fall off the old log here, and I'll mute everybody, and you can have at it.
All right. I thought maybe what I'd do, since this is the Celtic Circle, I was going to do one of my own tunes, and I thought to make it kind of Celtic, I have to do it in a set. So I have to add a second tune that I also wrote. So these are two tunes of my own. They're both in A minor, so pick up the right flute or the right instrument for that. And the first one is I may have done one or both of these before. The first one is called In the East Texas Wood. And the second one is called The Mists of Marymore. So here we go in A minor.
Very, very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Thank you.
All right.
Very nice.
Good
I
sound
like
quality.
I like the accompaniment there. Who is that? Who are those fine people that are accompanying you?
Those are the active electrons that are coming through through my telephone. I have a backup program or a rhythm generator that I'll put these tunes in, and then it'll play the generator for me.
I need one of those. That might convince me to sing one of these days. Who knows?
I
Yeah.
convinced me to keep time.
Yeah, your sound quality is very good as well, Chip, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you. Thank
Everything's
you.
coming through
clear
spot
as.
on.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's better than most.
Well, I have original sound turned on for those that understand what that means.
Yeah,
Remember, the instructions are on the website, so
makes a lot of difference.
us have been through that, but
Well, thank you, Chip. That was good. Okay, let's see. Next, we have to descend a little bit in a colonic sort of way here to Stewart. So here we go.
Colonial, not colonic, please.
Oh, okay.
Very
Well,
good, very
sorry, gosh. You know how that goes. Now I got to remember how to mute. Oh, there we go. Mute everybody. Here we go.
Okay. All right. I've done this one before, but it's part of a genre of songs about these idealized, beautiful young women that are seen in Ireland by young peasant men. And part of it is, my theory is, part of it is this unconscious longing for a unified Ireland, which is epitomized in this vision of a beautiful young maiden. And whether they've been drinking too much or working too hard, every once in a while, a local peasant will see this beautiful woman out in the fields. This one's called For Ireland, I'll Tell Not Her Name. And this is such a great tune that I played it on my whistle at weddings and funerals. So, it's a keeper. Last eve as I wandered quite near to the border of my little farm, a beautiful maiden appeared, whose loveliness caused my heart's harm. By a daring and love-smitten sour, and the words from her sweet lips that came. To meet her I raced the field o'er, but for Ireland I'll not tell her name. If this beauty but my words would heed, the words that I speak would be true. I'd help her in every need, and indeed all her work I would do. To win one fond kiss from my love, I'd read her romances of fame. Her champion I daily would prove, but for Ireland I'd not tell her name. There's a beautiful, stately young maid at the nearing of my little farm. She's welcoming, kind, unafraid. Her smile is both childlike and warm. Her gold hair in masses that grow like amber and sheen is that same, and the bloom in her cheeks like the rose, but for Ireland I'll not tell her name. Her gold hair in masses that grow like amber and sheen is that same, and the bloom in her cheeks like the rose, but for Ireland I'd not tell her name.
Very good. Yes, beautiful. Well done.
Yes, I agree with you. That's a keeper.
That's a keeper.
Okay, well, let's see. Sliding on down the chimney here, we see that the man with the upside down guitar is next. So I'll mute everybody. Unmute yourself, Mr. Tom.
Thank you, Rick. All of us are aware of the Book of Kells, turning a page at a time at Trinity, but and most of us are aware that there's so few Irish texts left. I was told when I was there about the story of during the dark times, Irish farmers used to have hidden copies of the Bible, pages of vellum that they would dip into the water and feed the water to their cattle as holy water because the Bible had been dipped into the water. I am astonished by the fact that the surviving texts, of which a new one, the Book of Lismore, has been given back to the libraries in Ireland, 250 years under British occupation, and it has the only Irish story of Marco Polo, as well as songs and poetry in Gaelic, and I was able to hear a Gaelic poem from the Book of Lismore. And this is dedicated to the surviving of the inspiration, but not necessarily through books, through the poems and songs that you are keeping alive now. It's called Book, Tongue, Song, History, Memory. Start with your tongue. It sings, it speaks, it selectively remembers sounds. Your mind curates, assembles, makes sense of these memories. Your hands may play the lyre, dulcimer, piano, harp, sounds that tune and tone with spoken and sung stories. Those with open ears hear and remember what is shared, ancient and continuing this Bodhi tradition. Memory repeats and embroiders upon all beginning tales, creation, continuance, culture. All this long before papyrus, vellum, parchment, paper. Your body remembers. What's missing? Listeners, rememberers, folk artists who treasure songline and spoken over text and tweet. What is sung still hangs in the air. What is spoken lodges in our bodies. Books get burned, censored, broken, trashed. Crystal Night, Inquisition, McCarthyism versus Boccaccio, D.H. Lawrence and the Beats. I carry my mind and tongue with me at all times. I need both just to add memory to conversation. I also curate a free library and give all my books away. Thanks for listening.
Beautiful, Tom. Beautiful.
Good one, good one, good one.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Thanks for keeping Yeats alive.
I'm glad you carry your mind with you at all times, because if you didn't, I would begin to worry about you.
Don't worry, Rick. Nothing to worry about up there.
Well, you know, it's that second story man.
Yes. Who's next?
Mr. Jim.
All righty.
So I will mute all and Jim, take it.
Well, in honor of the 90-year-old Scots nationalist who died yesterday, I'm going to do what has been proposed as the national anthem of an independent Scottish Republic. It's by Hamish Henderson. Roch the wind in the clear day dawning, blows the clouds Ulster gaudy o'er the bay. But there's mair nor a roch wind blowing through the great glen of the world the day. It's a thought that would gather roten all the rogues that gang gallus fresh and gay. Tak the road and seek their lonings, for their ill ploys to sport and play. Nay merwel o'r bonny callants, merch to war when o'r braggarts cruisly craw. Nor we weens, frae petite and placken, mourn the ships sailing in the broomy law. Broken families in lands we've herit, well curse Scotland the brave, nae mair. Black and white, until their merit, mak the vile barracks of the maesters bare. So come a ye, at hame we freedom, never heed while the hoodies croak for doom. In your house, the bairns autumn will find breed, barley brie and painted room. One MacLean meets we's friends in Springburn, all their roses and games we turn to bloom. And the black lad frae out Nyanga dings the fell gallows of the burgers doon.
Well done, Jim. Well done. Nice.
Very good. Well, I mean, it Hamish stuff.
Yes.
He was a polymath himself. And,
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jim. On to Mary Jane. I will mute everyone.
Okay. I'm going to do The Town I Loved So Well by Phil Coulter. In my memory, I will always see the town that I loved so well, where our school played ball by the gas yard wall, and we laughed through the smoke and the smell. Going home in the rain, running up the darkened lane, past the jail and down behind the fountain. Those were happy days in so many, many ways, in the town that I loved so well. There was music there in the dairy air, like a language that we could all understand. I remember the day that I earned my first pay, when I played in a small pickup band. There I spent my youth, and to tell you the truth, I was sad to leave it all behind me, for I'd learned about life, and I found a wife in the town that I loved so well. In the early morn, the shirt factory horn called the women from Creggan, the Moor, and the Bar, while the men on the dole played a mother's role, fed the children, and then trained the dog. And when times got tough, there was just about enough, but they saw it through without complaining. For deep inside was a burning pride in the town that I loved so well. But when I return, now my eyes have burned to see how a town could be brought to its knees by the armored cars and the bombed out bars and the gas that hangs on to every breeze. Now the army's installed by that old gas yard wall, and the damn barbed wire gets higher and higher. With their tanks and their guns, oh my God, what have they done to the town that I loved so well? Now the music is gone, but they carry on, for their spirit's been bruised but never broken. They will never forget, but their hearts are set on tomorrow and peace once again. For what's done is done, and what's won is won, and what's lost is lost and gone forever. I can only pray for a bright, brand new day in the town that I loved so well.
Yay, good one, good one.
Some say it's depressing, but I think the first three verses are fine. It's just when it gets to the last two
But
that it really gets
the depressing parts are the best parts.
yeah, I
He
know.
loves the death
Yeah,
part.
doesn't
Yeah,
Celtic
well,
equal depressing?
Nostalgic. It's nostalgic, not depressing.
Irish
Oh.
blues, baby. Come on now.
Yeah. Green blue.
Okay, well, it looks like we're missing Yanni, so I will take it next. So I don't know. I guess she slid off the side there. Here we go. Okay, you guys have heard these before. Unfortunately, I haven't written any new poems. Certainly haven't written any new Celtic poems since last we met. So this is the best song. One day we'll be back together again. That feeling of hugging and walking along, fresh off an hour of visiting with others before you come upon the song. When you take the lyric and sing, we perform together or apart. Tears of happiness or separation tear at mind and especially at heart. Singer-songwriter folk do especially know what I mean. When they get someone to sing a song with them or not, they know their work is not done. To get the whole world to sing along would be a fine beginning or start. The best would be to do all that while taking it to each one's heart. So that's the best song. And then when we're 6 feet away, we can talk, we can sing. There isn't much you cannot do when you're 6 feet away. You can't touch another human. You can't straighten hair or slap. You can't cuddle or shake hands when you're 6 feet away. It seems as though we're close, but distance isn't all we miss. We can't touch or feel each other when we're 6 feet away. Maybe someday or month real soon, we'll stop having to keep this way. We'll find each other oh so soon when we're not 6 feet away. So I guess that'll slide us. Probably, I don't think I'll have a chance to do another one before the hour comes up. So that'll be it for me for today. And I'll go ahead and hand the hostship over to Stuart, and I will be sitting here waiting until the hour's up. So I enjoyed being here today, and
Yeah.
I'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Sounds good, man.
Stuart,
Good to
by
see
the
you,
way,
Rick.
would you be up for that in 2 weeks also?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let me figure out how to get this host over there. I think it's time down to Stuart and do more and say make host. Boom. Yes. Now you're the host.
Thank you very much.
Sure. So now it's obviously David's time.
Okay. I will. Yeah, it's back to David. I will mute everybody. Hang in there. Here we go. Mute all. Okay, Dave.
All right. So, just to address something that seems to come up every now and again, for a long time we've said that the Celtic Song Session is for songs that are related to the Celtic tradition. Related, so that covers a lot, and as Joe Becky puts it, Celtic adjacent. That's another way of putting it. So not to worry, not to worry. Anyway, this is a song that I don't perform for entertainment, actually. I want to say that I'm not superstitious. However, I am a little stitious. So this one is basically I reserve for actual passing of someone significant, which in the case of Sean Connery is certainly the case, as he had a great deal of integrity as well as being a fine, fine actor. So this is from Shakespeare's play Cymbeline, the funeral song from Cymbeline. And the tune is a wild Norwegian tune called Heimo og Knikken. Fear no more the heat of the sun, nor the furious winter's rages. Thou thy worldly task hast done. Home art gone and ta'en thy wages. Golden lads and girls all buzzed, as chimney sweepers turn to dust. Fear no more the frown of the great. Thou art past the tyrant's stroke. Care no more to clothe and day. To thee the reed is as the oak. The scepter learning physic must. Oh, follow this and come to dust. or sighs or harm thee, nor no witchcraft charm thee. Ghost unlaid forbear thee, nothing ill come near thee. Quiet consummation have, and renowned be thy grave.
That tune
Very
fits
nice,
you
very
well.
nice.
Got the right mood on that tune. Yeah. Oh,
I think you're superstitious.
Some, not superstitious, just some.
Just some
Um,
microstitious.
I love that. There's the problem with the interstitial stitious.
interstitious.
Yeah.
There we go. You got ahead of me, Rick. Yeah.
There's substition too, right?
I'm still
If
fighting
super-
bacteria here. I'm slow.
If there's superstition, there should be substition.
Subsistitious.
All right. Moving right along.
Subtle.
Terry's up.
Okay.
I'm going to mute everybody. Here we go. Okay, Terry.
Well, one good modal banjo piece deserves another, I think. So this is the Cruel Mother, which I'm sure I've done for some of you before. And I thought I'd put on the chat a link to the Every Folk Song podcast. This is a great fun thing that I've discovered, and he has a very intricate and wide-ranging discussion of this song and its many variants. It's there on the chat for you. Check it out. But here goes. There was a lady lived in yard, Ollie and lonely. Fell in love with the father's clerk down by the Greenwood side. She loved him up, she loved him down, Ollie and lonely. She loved him till he filled her arms down by the Greenwood side. She leaned her back against an oak, Ollie and lonely. First it bent and then it broke down by the Greenwood side. She leaned her back against a thorn, Ollie and lonely. There she had to find babes born down by the Greenwood side. She pulled out her yellow hair, Ollie and lonely, wound it around their feet and hands down by the Greenwood side. She pulled out a wee pren knife, Ollie and lonely. She stabbed those two babes through the heart down by the Greenwood side. She wiped her penknife on her shoe, Ollie and lonely. More she wiped, the more red it grew down by the greenwood side. One day she was sitting in her father's hall, Ollie and lonely. I forgot a piece, sorry. She laid them under a marble stone, Ollie and lonely. Then she turned as a fair maid home down by the greenwood side. One day she was sitting in her father's hall, Ollie and lonely. Saw two babes come playing at the ball down by the greenwood side. Oh babes, if you were mine, Ollie and lonely, I'd dress you up scarlet fine down by the greenwood side. Oh mother, it's we was yours, Ollie and lonely. Scarlet fine was her own heart's blood down by the greenwood side. Oh babes, sweet babes, it's heaven for you, Ollie and lonely. Mother, oh mother, it's hell for you down by the greenwood side. For Halloween, a ghost story.
Very nice. I think
Very
A
good.
modal's my favorite banjo key.
Yeah, like medieval mode.
One of the holy modal rounders, huh?
Well, I'm glad to be only half evil, you know.
Live backwards.
Yeah, I was hearing the wind and the rain from the
Yeah, I can hear it too. Yeah,
and as well. So goes around.
it does, doesn't it? Steel
All right, moving right along. It's a Chip. Chip is up, so we're going to mute everybody. Here we go. Mute all. Okay, I think
There we go. All right, this doesn't qualify as Irish music, but it's sad enough, so it probably really does. But nobody, it's probably not truly Irish because it's only ultrastitious, and nobody dies in it. If somebody died in it, it'd probably be Celtic. Anyway, it's actually about the plight of the homeless. So, and they certainly are on my mind these days. It's called He spends his days down in the Oaks. His friends are lonely too. He sleeps each night in a cold, cold place. Beneath the bridge he'll go. His life began like yours and mine, with food and home and kin. His folks were kind and filled with love. Their light shone from deep within. And left alone by all his friends, alone too took leave. Well, then his world turned upside down. Seattle was his safe home, but he still dwelt in that lonely place. His life was lost its song. But kindness finds a lighted path, and love will guide him through. Now in the arms of those who care, their love and light renews. An outstretched hand he could not take, although the door's ajar. No push nor pull, but his own steps will bring him in from afar. Well, he may rest in loving arms, the moon will join him too. Soon a bed within a home, to the bridge no more he'll go.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Did that resolve at the end there, or did it leave us hanging? I couldn't.
Yes, that's always kind of fun, just to leave hanging there at the end.
The hanging cord.
All right, that was great. All right,
you.
moving right along. I'm going to mute everybody. Here we go. Mute all. Okay. Before I begin, this is a total non sequitur. You may have noticed I'm wearing this poppy here. Tom will know what this is. The British Commonwealth, since the World War I, wear poppies about this time, leading up to November the 11th, which is the end of the First World War. And there's a really moving service every year called Remembrance Sunday, where they have a bunch of paper poppies like this in nets up in the top of the Albert Hall. And at a certain time of the evening, they call the last post, and then they let these nets go, and for like 5 minutes, there's just a rain of red poppies comes falling down, floating down from the ceiling. So by the end of that, everyone's covered in scarlet. It's really quite moving, with the music that goes along with it. You might look that up on your Google or your YouTube. I also wear this because my sister did some research into my family a few years ago, and my father's father, who I never knew, he died when my father was a young man. Turns out he had 14 siblings, and one of them is a guy called Jesse Hampton. Jesse Hampton was a coal miner at the age of 14. At the age of 18, he was joined the army. At the age of 19, in April, he died underneath the German trench on the Western Front, where he was digging under the trench to blow it up. So I kind of wear that for him. So that's just a total non sequitur to this next song. Anyway, sad time of the year. This is a sad song about the end of the fishing industry in Scotland, written by a guy called Archie Fisher, who has one of the best baritone voices in the world. It's called The Final Trawl. It's great folk. It's a great folk. He runs for years. He ran a big folk radio show in Scotland, as well as perform around the world. I first met him in Hong Kong at the International Folk Festival there in 1992. Okay, the final troll. It's 3 long years since we made her pay. Sing all away, my laddie-o, and the owners say that she's had her day. Sing all away, my laddie-o. So we'll heave away for the final troll. Sing all away, my laddie-o. It's an easy pull, for the catch is small. Sing all away, my laddie-o. Then stow your gear, lads, and batten down. Sing all away, my laddie-o, and we'll bid farewell to the fishing ground. Sing all away, my laddie-o, and we'll join the Venture and the Morning Star. Sing all away, my laddie-o, riding high and empty towards the bar. And sing all away, my laddie-o, for I'd rather beach her on the Skerry Rock. Sing all away, my laddie-o, than to see her torched in the breaker's dock. Sing all away, my laddie-o. And when I die, you can stow me down. Sing all away, my laddie-o, in her rusty hold where the breakers sound. Sing all away, my laddie-o, and I'll make the haven of the Fiddler's Green. Sing all away, my laddie-o, where the rum is good and the bunks are clean. Sing all away, my laddie-o. Have I fished a lifetime, boy and man? Sing all away, my laddie-o, and the final troll scarcely makes a cran. Sing all away, my laddie-o. Sing all away, my laddie-o.
That was lovely. Very nice. Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Yay.
Well, enough of my family and fishing.
Thanks for telling about the poppy. It was really important. Remembrance Day, Armistice Day, the end of the First World War, you know, really important.
Yeah, the big body blow to the Western psyche was that war.
It's very true.
We haven't got over it yet.
Nope.
All right, and so that leads me to my colonial Commonwealth friend, Tom. And I will mute everybody. Just a moment. Here we go. Mute all. All right, Tom, I think it's...
Okay, there's nothing more Gaelic and Celtic than the moon last night. Chill moon juice, serve nightly. My midnight garden, planting moons. Hollow light, moon lost. Put my morning clothes on. Good night, moon. At least the moon was blue and full, and harvest rose glorious in a clear sky above us, affirming what happens in the heavens is more powerful than our limits. So we laid out a table for sweets outside, turned the pumpkin light on, watched and waited for the waves of young. None came. Desultory fireworks from neighbors, but even they were spluttering and flickering. If I were me, I would bet upon the moon tonight. Celestial events over domestic terrorism. Perhaps there is a single solitary meditating cat smiling down from our blue moon, celebrating Samhain.
Blue moon.
Blue moon.
Oh, Kentucky.
You guys.
Very nice, very nice.
You need the extra syllables. Us, it doesn't work, you know.
No. So
Doesn't scan, man. So,
yeah.
And just for astronomical facts, around December 21st, Saturn and Jupiter will be the closest they have appeared since 1623, and the closest they will appear until 2080.
wow.
Stay alive till December.
There you go.
Hey.
Only 2020.
Yeah.
Stay awake, you may miss it. So,
That's right.
well, thank you for that astronomical information. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
We move to Jim now. I'm going to mute everybody. Okay, I think we muted. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Mute all. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Wait a minute. Come on now.
Yeah, it worked.
Okay.
All right. Well, I wasn't planning to do this one, but in honor of the sapper Jesse Hampton, we'll do this song made popular in Ireland by a group called the Furies, and particularly their lead singer, Finbar. It's this poem by an Australian named Eric Bogle. Oh, how do you do, Private William McBride? Do you mind if I sit down here by your graveside and rest for a while midst the warm summer sun? I've been walking all day and I'm nearly done. Well, I see by your gravestone you were only 19 when you joined the brave fallen in 1916. Well, I hope you died quick and I hope you died clean. Or Willie McBride, was it slow and obscene? Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they sound the fife lowly? Did they play the Dead March as they buried you down? Did the band play the last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the floors of the forest? And did you leave a wife or a sweetheart behind? In some faithful heart is your memory enshrined. And though you died back in 1916, in that faithful heart are you forever 19? Or are you a stranger without even a name, imprisoned forever behind a glass pane, in an old photograph torn and tattered and stained, and fading to yellow in a brown leather frame? Did they beat the drums slowly? Did they sound the fife lowly? Did they play the Dead March as they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the floors of the forest? The sun, it shines now o'er these green fields of France. There's a warm summer wind makes the red poppies dance. The trenches have all fallen under the plough. There's no gas, no barbed wire, there's no guns firing now. But here in this graveyard, it's still no man's land. Countless white crosses in mute witness stand to a whole generation that was butchered and damned. And man's blind indifference to his fellow man? Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they sound the fife lowly? Did they play the dead march as they lowered you down? Did the bugles play the last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the floors of the forest? Ah, Willie McBride, I can't help wondering why. Do all those who lie with you know why they died? Did you really believe back when you answered the call? Did you truly believe that this war would end war? For the glory, the sorrow, the suffering, the pain, the fighting and dying, 'twas all done in vain. For Willie McBride, it all happened again. And again and again and again and again. Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they sound the fife lowly? Did they play the dead march as they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the floors of the forest?
All right, Jim. Yes.
Bogle, folk hero in Australia. Used to be an accountant.
Timely song, timely song.
Yes, I thought
That's
so.
how it is.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
The band played Waltzing Matilda, his other hit.
yeah. That's the best import from Scotland to Australia that Australia ever had. He could have been a New Zealander. You know what I mean? So.
No, he couldn't go that low.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That's great. Well, we'll take a reverential pause. Okay, that's it. Mary Jane. I'm muting everybody.
Good thing.
Here we go. Let me mute everyone. Hello. Okay. Okay, Mary Jane, unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted. I'm definitely not following suit. I don't have anything I was planned to sing, anything like that. In fact, I'm even abandoning the guitar for a ukulele. Good. At least one person is pleased. But I'm going to do The Juice of the Barley. In the sweet county Limerick, one cold winter's night, all the turf fires were burning when I first saw the light, and a drunken old midwife went tipsy with joy as she danced round the floor with her slip of a boy, singing Vanya Bowie Sangana, and the juice of the barley for me. Well, when I was a gossoon of 8 years old or so, with me turf and me primer to school I did go, to a dusty old schoolhouse without any door, where lay the schoolmaster blind drunk on the floor, singing Vanya Bowie Sangana, and the juice of the barley for me. At the learning I wasn't such a genius, I'm thinking, but I soon bet the master entirely at drinking, not a wake or a wedding for 5 miles around, but myself in a corner was soon to be found, singing Vanya Bowie dance a fine jig between heaven and hell. And his words, they did frighten me, the truth for to tell. Singing fine, yet I'm always ungonna, and the juice of the barley for me. So the very next morning, as the dawn it did break, I went down to the vestry, the pledge for to take. And there in that room sat the priests in a bunch, round a big roaring fire, drinking tumblers of punch, singing fine, yet I'm always ungonna, and the juice of the barley for me. Well, from that day to this, I have wandered alone. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, with the sky for me roof and the earth for me floor. And I'll dance all my days drinking whiskey galore, singing fine, yet I'm always ungonna, and the juice of the barley for me.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice mood
yeah,
shift.
yeah,
Nice
yeah.
mood shift there.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, great, great old song.
We get back to the death spiral a bit later, but that was nice. That was
Yeah,
nice.
it was a break from the death spiral, that's for sure.
All right, just
So thank you all for being, and thank you for surviving Halloween.
thank you, Tom. We'll see you around, man.
Very round, and the very best to all.
So long.
Sure.
You're leaving, Tom.
Poetry is
Yeah, poetry. We understand. Yeah, the way this session, as you all know, this is kind of modelled on the what I understood. The Cuban musicians, traditional Cuban musicians, would kill a couple of pigs, could get a couple of vats of rum, and go up into the mountains and play continuously for like 7 days. And there's always someone playing the drums. And this is kind of like David's modelled this session on that, but it's only 3 hours long. So if someone has to leave to go to the bathroom, you can leave and come back and so on. But the music will continue. And even if only David showed up or I showed up, we do the 3 hours because we're committed to
Yes, you're
recording or
hardcore.
no recording. We're committed to posterity and tradition. So we're around the circle again, and we're all the way back to David. I will mute everybody. Here we go. Mute all.
Right.
Okay.
Well, just had a song about alcohol. So another one in that same mold. Well, not exactly. I've noticed that in the folk tradition, there's basically two types of songs about drinking. There's one like the last one about how great it is and how wonderful it is to be drinking alcohol and having a great time, and how great alcohol is. Just in general, it's wonderful. And the other one is about how terrible all these other people are that are drunks and how they shouldn't do it. But there's this one song in the Irish tradition that's strikingly different, because it's about a man who is suffering from his addiction to alcohol, and it's about what it's like from the inside of that experience. And that's a rare point of view. It was originally an Irish song in Irish, but I don't know any Irish to speak of. So what I did was I got the Irish text and I translated every single word literally, and then I came up with a singable translation that's very close to the original meaning of the text. There's some other translations of this song, but I don't feel they come very close to the tone of it. The title in Irish is Ambuchel Kjoldu, which means the dark, slender boy. And it's because the poet imagines that his addiction is personified by a dark, slender boy that follows him everywhere. When I go to market to purchase clothing, and I have the earnest money in my hand, the dark, slender boy, he steps up to me, and he puts his slender claw into my hand. It's not long after I go crazy, without much sense, standing at the bar, paying for the craving that is tormenting me. 7 months shirtless, tortured by the cold. The dark, slender boy is tall and festive, clever, learned, and with a face so fine. In pain he has ruined me and has done for me, and left me here with little coin. If I go to France or to South Harbor, or make the leap to Inishowen, that skinny boy will come panting after me, not to be from me 1 hour more. Evil of Craggy, she did meet with us, walking down the road, she fancied me. She said if the dark, slender boy agreed, she would give 100 men for me. The slender lad spoke short and sharply, that he'd not abandon his longtime friend. He'd walk through Ireland, through woods and clearings, with love and devotion. After me he'd wend. He'd walk through Ireland, through woods and clearings, love and devotion. After me he'd wend.
Yay, yay, very good, good stuff.
Cheery little number.
Yeah, another one, yes. Very good. Yeah.
All right, thank you, David. Thank you very much. And Terry,
Well, I think I'm gonna skip
skip
this
down to
turn
something here.
and bid you a good evening and let the hardcore carry on here.
But we got another pig to kill.
Yeah, don't let the whiskey run out. Okay.
All right, thanks, Terry, for everything, as always.
Sure. Bye bye. See you next week. Oh, by the way, the Halloween edition of the Song Circle was really fun, and I'll have that up on the YouTube playlist by the middle of the week. And so if you missed it, I really recommend checking it out because it was great fun. So see you guys later.
See you, man. Okay, over to Chip. I'm gonna mute everybody. Just a moment. Mute all.
There we
Okay.
go. All right. Well, I was going to do a different tune, but I decided after doing previous non-Irish tunes, I better do an honest to goodness Irish tune. And I don't know much about this tune other than I heard the first time I ever heard this tune, it was on one of those sound apps that are on your phone that help you go to sleep. So if while I'm playing it I sort of nod off, then you'll know that it still works. Anyway, maybe David or somebody knows the history of Road to Lisdoonvarna, so that's what I'll play here.
Right. The road to Lisdoonvarna. Well, I'll tell you what I know. And what I know about it is, or what I've been told. Well, first of all, that there's two tunes, both named The Road to Lisdoonvarna. That one, which is a single jig, and another one's a reel, and they're both called that. And what I've been told is that Lisdoonvarna is sort of a resort that sits on a hill or a mountain, and the road to get there is a sort of a winding road up the hill or the mountain or whatever it is. And so that's why they called those tunes The Road to Lisdoonvarna. That's as much as I know. Take it for whatever.
I'll be darned. There you go. And the sheet music actually says that it's a slide, so it's 12/8 time.
Yeah,
Which is
slides and single jigs are very similar. They're both in 12/8.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's great. It's very good.
Thank you.
Very lively.
It
I
brings us
take
out
it.
of the doldrums. It
I'll
lifts
take
us
care of
back
that.
up.
I'll take care of that now. So, okay, I'm going to mute all. There we go. As I think I've told you before, my introduction to Irish music when I was living and working in Hong Kong in the late 80s and early 90s, the local folk society were nearly all Irish expats, really good musicians, from the Catholic priest to the policeman to the teacher to the banker. They're all there, and they were all excellent. I learned a lot about the feel of Irish music, especially. This is there were two introductory songs you really had to learn to join the club. One was Carrickfergus and the other was Nancy Spain. So here's Nancy Spain. Of all the stars that ever shone, not one does twinkle like your pale blue eyes. Like golden corn at harvest time your hair, sailing in my boat, the wind gently blows and lifts my sail. Your sweet scented breath is everywhere. Daylight peeping through the curtain of the passing night time is your smile. And the sun in the sky is like your laugh. Come back to me, my Nancy, linger for just a little while. Since you left these shores, I've known no peace nor joy. No matter where I wander, I'm still haunted by your name. The portrait of your beauty stays the same. Standing by the ocean, wondering where you've gone, if you'll return again. Where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain? On a day in spring, when snow starts to melt and streams to flow, with the birds I'll sing this song. Then in the while I'll wander down by Bluebell Stream where wildflowers grow. And I hope that lovely Nancy will return. No matter where I wander, I'm still haunted by your name. The portrait of your beauty stays the same. Standing by the ocean, wondering where you've gone, if you'll return again. Where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain? Where is the ring I gave to Nancy Spain?
Very nice, nice, very nice.
Excellent, excellent.
There you go. All right, thank you. All right, over to Jim. I'm going to mute everybody. There we go, mute all. Okay, Jim, up to you.
All right, I'll give you another. There's another song in which whiskey is personified, although in this case it is not as a young boy, but rather as a woman, and a woman who, curiously enough, in light of the last song, is named Nancy. I'm a weaver, a Calton weaver. I'm a rash and a roving blade. I've got silver in my pocket, and I follow the roving trade. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, oh. As I went down to Glasgow City, Nancy whiskey I chanced to smell. I went in, sat in beside her. 7 long years, oh, I loved her well. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, oh. The mair I kissed her, the mair I loved her. The mair I kissed her, the mair she smiled. Soon I forgot my mother's teaching. Nancy soon had me beguiled. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, oh. So I rose early in the morning to slack my thirst, it was my need. I tried to rise, but I wasn't able. Nancy had me by the head. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, oh. Now I'm going back to the Calton weaving. I'll surely make them shuttles fly, for I made more at the Calton weaving than ever I did in the roving way. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, oh. So come all ye weavers, ye Calton weavers. Come all ye weavers, where'er you be. Beware of whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. She'll ruin you like she ruined me. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, oh.
Yes, very good.
I heard you and McCall kind of recovered that song and popularized it in the 60s. Oh,
I'm not surprised.
yeah. Good one. All right, we're moving along right now to. Okay, you can pace yourself. We still have nearly 90 minutes, so you can give long introductions if you want to. So.
And probably follow along in a minute here. So.
Mary Jane, I'm going to mute everybody here. So
Okay.
mute. Okay.
Unmute. Okay. Well, the song I was going to do is When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, and I heard that it wasn't really an Irish song, that it was written by Americans or, you know, somebody just for the Irish people that live in the United States. And if anybody has anything to add on that, you know, that's about all I know. So I hesitated to do it, but I was starting to run out of Irish songs.
Go right ahead.
I thought, well, I better go ahead and.
Mary Jane, go right ahead and do it. It was written by a man named Chauncey Alcott, who was the great Irish-American star of the the stage in the late 19th and early 20th century. And it was, there isn't an Irishman in the world who doesn't love that song. So you go right ahead.
Okay, good. As long as the Irish like it, I guess we can handle it here. When I first learned it, I just learned the chorus. I found it in a songbook, and that's what I thought that was all there was to it. And then lo and behold, I discovered there was 2 verses to it. So I'm going to do the whole thing as what I had learned. There's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why, for it never should be there at all. With such power in your smile, sure a stone you'd beguile, for there's never a teardrop should fall. When your sweet lilting laughter's like some fairy song, and your eyes twinkle bright as can be, you should laugh all the while, and all other times smile, and now smile a smile for me. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they steal your heart away. For your smile is a part of the love in your heart, and it makes even sunshine more bright. Like the linnet's sweet song, crooning all the day long, 'cause your laughter so tender and light. For the springtime of life is the sweetest of all. There is ne'er a real care or regret. And while springtime is ours throughout all of youth's hours, let us smile each chance we get. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they steal your heart away.
Yay! Pretty.
Yeah, you know,
Very nice.
about 4 years ago, I took my Texas Scotch-Irish mother-in-law to Ireland at the age of 91, and we got to Bunratty Castle in the south, a big tourist scene and big medieval tables, and they were serving mead. I mean, she's a Baptist. They were serving honey mead and fine meat, and we have a video of my mother-in-law singing "Where Irish Eyes Are Smiling" with some court jester while drinking alcohol. It's worth a tape. All righty, there, moving right along here. Mary Jane, we got David. Is David still there?
His name is there.
Yeah, I'm dealing with my dog. Hi, David. I'm just an aside here. I'm dealing with a dog here who's singing High Lonesome in the background because she can't believe anyone can sit in one place for more than 1 hour. It's just unnatural to her. So anyway, David, it's your turn, and we're gonna Mute everybody. Here we go. Mute all. Okay, I think it's all yours.
Here's a song of immigration that I've sung before, but I found a more complete version of the text in a book I recently got called A Living Voice, the Frank Hart Collection, which has a wonderful collection of almost 200 songs recorded by Frank Hart over his lifetime of collecting. Wonderful book. The version I had sung was from Patty Tunney, and Frank Hart comments that you never knew how many or which verses of the song Patty Tunney would sing. His version was recorded on a famous album by Planxty. The song's called The Green Hills of Canada, and it also makes references to America, but after all, Canada is in North America, so it's really not a contradiction. So this is a more complete version of the song than I've sung before. Fare thee well to the land of shillelagh and shamrock, where's many's the long days in great pleasures I spend. Fare thee well to the friends that I leave here behind me, to live in old Ireland if they are content. Now it's sorry I am to leave this green island, whose cause I supported in peace and in war. But to live here in bondage I never could be happy. Oh, the green fields of Canada are sweeter by far. Farewell to the groves of the sweet county Wicklow. Farewell to the wee girls of Ireland all round. May your hearts be as merry as ever I would wish them, when far, far away across the ocean bound. So pack up your sea stores, consider it no longer. $10 a week isn't very bad pay, with no taxes or tithes to devour up your wages. When you're on the green fields of America, no longer I'll stay in this land of oppression, and no cruel landlord shall rule over me. To the land of sweet liberty I would bid of want and starvation, to hear the poor children crying out for their bread. And so many of the people who without habitation left to die in the field without a roof for their head. Oh, my father is old, and my mother is quite feeble. To leave their own country 'twould grieve their hearts sore. Oh, the tears in great drops down their cheeks they are flowing, to think that I must die upon a foreign shore. But what matter to me where my bones shall be buried, if in peace and contentment I can live my life? Oh, the green fields of Canada, they daily are beckoning. It's there I'll put an end to my misery and strife. The sheep go unshorn, and the land's gone to rushes. The handyman's gone, and the winder afield. And away across the ocean go journeyman tailors, and fiddlers who flaked out the old mountain reel. But I mind the time when old Ireland was flourishing, when lots of her tradesmen could work for good pay. But since our manufactories have crossed the Atlantic, it's there we must follow to America. Farewell to the dances in homes now deserted, when tips struck the lightning in sparks from the floor. The paving and the creaking of hobnails on flagstones, the tears of the old folk and shouts of encore. For the landlords and bailiffs in vile combination have forced us from hearth, home, and homestead away. May the crowbarred brigade be all doomed to damnation when we're on the green fields of America. The anchor is weighed and our ship now is sailing. Farewell to old Ireland, now I am going away. My Mary has left both her father and mother, and with me she'll cross o'er the wild stormy way. And now to conclude and to finish my ditty, if ever friendless Irishmen should chance by my way, with the best in the house I will greet him and welcome him at home on the green fields of America.
Good stuff. Very good.
Yeah. Relentlessly depressing. Yes.
That's the ticket.
That's the ticket.
Somber, not depressing, somber.
All right, but you got us to the 4 o'clock hour almost. So well done. All right.
Verses, come on.
Yeah, you skipped 10 verses, I think, as I recall. Anyway, we're going to move to Chip now, and I'm going to mute everybody. There we go. Mute all.
All right, there we go. I'm gonna see if I can add to the depression here. And we haven't had a song that's been just about whiskey for a while, so maybe I thought maybe I would do one. Actually, I started to think after y'all were talking that maybe Brad Paisley, the country music star, is really Irish, because this is one of his tunes. So I think I may have done this one before. But it's a sad song about some of the evils of drinking a little bit too much. She broke his heart and spent to forget. She broke his heart. He spent his whole life trying to forget. We watched him drink his pain away a little at a time, but he never could get drunk enough to get her off his mind until the night he put that bottle to his head and pulled the trigger and finally drank away her memory. Life's too short, but this time it was bigger than the strength he had to get up off his knees. They found him with his face down in the pillow, with a note that said, "I'll love her till I die." And when we buried him beneath the willow, the angels sang a whiskey lullaby. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. The rumors flew, but no one knew how much she blamed herself. For years and years, she tried to hide the whiskey from her breath. She finally drank her pain away a little at a time, but she never could get drunk enough to get him off her mind until the night she put that bottle to her head and pulled the trigger and finally drank away his memory. Life's too short, but this time it was bigger than the strength she had to get up off her knees. We found her with her face down in the pillow, clinging to her picture for dear life. We laid him next to him beneath the willow, while the angels sang a whiskey lullaby. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. And there's that hanging chord again.
Oh,
Leave him
boy.
wanting more. That's what you. He's a great songwriter, that guy.
Yes, he is, and a good singer if you like that genre.
He really is. And I love the ads he does with the Peyton Manning, where the quarterback. I mean, I've seen him on TV. Retired quarterback for Indiana, whatever.
Yeah.
He was always trying to get into Peyton Manning's band, and Peyton's having nothing to do with it. So.
Just thought of something I meant to say about that song that I just done. We tend to romanticize the Irish immigration songs. They're beautiful songs and they're full of pathos. But you know, when you think about it, it's exactly the same situation as immigrants that we see in the modern times. The motivation is the same, the situation's the same. They're forced to do it. They're trying to get to a better place.
in desperation, and it rings a bell as you did just a minute ago. It rings a chord
Ding.
of our modern situation. Just thought I'd bring
Yeah.
that up.
Oh, here's that's a great segue actually, because I'm going to mute everybody.
I'm going to need to, unfortunately, I'm going to need to run too. We're running over to see the grandkids.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Y'all take care.
Thanks for coming, man.
Okay.
See ya.
So long.
Okay, I'm muting everybody. Here we go. Mute all. All right, we're down to the diehards now. The diehards. Okay. Yeah, picking up on that, how there's a tendency to romanticize. It's the immigrant sensibility is to turn that terrible misbegotten stone hut into a cottage with a fire and a loving family all around. And anyway, the same is true in Scotland. They very much the Highlanders were defeated at the Battle of Culloden in 1746, and basically since then and the century that followed, they romanticized everything. The Highlanders were the romantic, the Ivanhoe, Walter Scott, and all the rest of it. And here's a typical song written probably 100 years later about how great it was to fight and die for Bonnie Prince Charlie when it was really miserable and destroyed the whole people. But it's amazing how the eye of nostalgia can resurrect things and make the lost cause the great cause. And here's one called Sound the Pibroch. I've done this before. The pibroch is some kind of horn or pipe or something. And there's a bit of Scots Gaelic in this, and it's called Hatchin Foam Foam Foam. And evidently it translates to I will rise, or I will. But the strict translation is I'm thinking about, or I have a mind to, which is a much more florid expression. So here it is, Sound the Pibroch. Sound the pibroch loud on high, from John O'Groats to the Isle of Skye. Let all your clans with battle cry arise and follow Charlie. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Arise and follow Charlie, and see the small devoted band by dark Loch Shill have taken their stand, and proudly vow with heart and hand to fight for royal Charlie. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Arise and follow Charlie, from every hill and every glen are gathering fast the loyal men. They grasp their dirks and shout again, hurrah for royal Charlie. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Arise and follow Charlie. On dark Culloden's field of gore, hark, hark, they shout, Claymore, Claymore. They bravely fight, what can they more? They die for royal Charlie. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Arise and follow Charlie. No more we'll see such deeds again. Deserted is each highland glen, and lonely cares are o'er the men who fought and died for Charlie. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Arise and follow Charlie. The white rose blossoms forth again, deep in sheltered highland glens, and soon we'll hear the cry we can to rise and fight for Charlie. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Arise and follow Charlie. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Hatchin foam, foam, foam. Arise and follow Charlie.
Hooray!
Hooray, hurrah!
Just a side note about pibroch.
Yes.
Pibroch is a form of Highland bagpipe music.
That's right. Sorry, that's right.
Two kinds of bagpipe music with the Highland pipes. They have what they call Kyo Beg, or little music, which is the marches, the strathspeys,
Yeah.
the reels, all the dance music and the marches. And then they have what they call Kyo More, which is the great music, and that's pibroch, where they play these solemn, slow tunes followed by ever increasing complicated variations with their grace notes.
Yeah.
What they
Good.
call serious bagpipe music.
Thank you.
The oldest form of Highland pipe music.
That's really helpful. That sets the context. So they're getting ready to go into battle when they play the serious music.
Very serious. Most of the titles of those pibrochs are laments for somebody other who's died.
Cool. Very good context there. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Mary Jane, we're in the last hour now. Okay, we're going to mute everybody. And all right, up to you.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to do an original song that has sort of an Irish-ish tune to it. I was planning on doing it, and then I started chickening out, and now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't. The tune is similar to The Wearing of the Green, and it's in G, but I can't guarantee that all the chords would go along perfectly. But I put it in with my Irish collection just in case I got desperate, and I feel pretty desperate right now. The too bad Tom isn't here. He probably would have appreciated it. It's called I'm a Dog. So basically it's just somebody writing a song about their dog, but it does happen to have a kind of an Irishy tune to it. I'm a dog, I like to go for walks enthusiastically. Do you know why the backyard is not big enough for me? It's long and green, St. Augustine, with a fence up all around. But I like to get out of there and smell some different ground. So tasty are the grasses and pungent the tree bark. I'm thankful for the freedom to be walking in the park. I like to taste wild grasses and chew a crunchy stick. Some people think that dogs eat grass only when they're sick. I can't digest it, so I barf it even though I'm well. But it's worth it all because the grass has such a lovely smell. So tasty are the grasses and pungent the tree bark. I'm thankful for the freedom to be walking in the park. My favorite spot along the street is the base of every tree. For many dogs have lingered there to mark their territory. Each trunk is like a trail with many tracks for those who see. I read it with my fine-tuned nose, the canine history. So tasty are the grasses and pungent the tree bark. I'm thankful for the freedom to be walking in the park.
Hey, my dog liked it. My shoulder there. See? There she is, right there.
Did your dog like that? Now, there he is. I see him.
Hey, my wife come for a walk, so he's chilled out now. So. Needs regular walks, so they get here. You know how that is. All right, David, are you there? Well, I think I will step in while David's out here, and I will mute. I say mute everybody. I will mute. Why don't you just mute yourself
for that matter?
Why don't you just mute yourself, Mary? There we go. This is Ralph McTell's second most famous song. It makes the streets of London. This is one called From Clare to Here. For who share this room and we work hard for the crack. Sleeping late on Sundays, well, I never get to Mass, and it's a long way from Clare to Hill. It's a long way from Clare to Hill. It's a long, long way, it gets further by the day. Oh, it's a long way from Clare to Hill. When Friday comes around, well, Terry's only into fighting. Mama would like a letter home, but I'm too tired for writing. It's a long, long way from Clare to Hill. It's a long way from Clare to Hill. It's a long, long way, gets further by the day. Oh, it's a long way from Clare to Hill. It almost breaks my heart when I think of Josephine. I told her I'd be coming home with my pockets full of grain. Oh, it's a long, long way from Clare to Hill. It's a long way from Clare to Hill. It's a long, long way, gets further by the day. Oh, it's a long way from Clare to Hill. The only time I feel alright is when I'm into drinking. It sort of eases the pain of it, and and it levels out my thinking. Oh, it's a long way from Cleta Hill. It's a long, long way from Cleta Hill. It's a long, long way, gets further by the day. Oh, it's a long, long way from Cleta Hill. Sometimes I hear a fiddle play, or maybe it's an ocean. I dream I see white horses dance upon that other ocean. It's a long, long way from Cleta Hill. It's a long, long way from Cleta Hill. It's a long, long way, gets further by the day. Oh, it's a long, long way from Cleta Hill. It's a long, long way from Cleta Hill.
Nice, very nice.
Thank you, thank you.
Sorry, I was AFK there for a minute. I thought Jim was still here and it was going to be his turn. So
That's
I thought,
okay. The music went on, as it always does. And now, David, it's your turn.
okay. So
I will mute. I'm just going to mute myself.
what the heck?
And Mary Jane, why don't you mute yourself?
Well, I could do that.
So this is in keeping with the songs about drinking. This is in the first category in songs that are effusive in their praise of alcohol. And this is the one I know that's the most effusive. So it's kind of the paradigm of that genre. It's called Paddy's Panacea. And it makes reference to the crater, which is another way of saying booze. It's a way of pronouncing the word creature, but it means booze. Let your quacks and newspapers be cutting their capers about curing the vapors, the scurvy or gout, with their powders and potions, their balsams and lotions, a hone in their notions, they're mightily out. Would you know the true physic to bother the physic, and pitch to the devil cramp colic and spleen? You will find it, I think, if you take a big drink with your mouth to the brink of a jug of poteen. Then stick to the crater, the best thing in nature, for sinking your sorrows and raising your joys. A whack botheration, no dose in the nation can give consolation like whiskey, me boys. Oh, no liquid cosmetic, nor for lovers athletic or ladies pathetic can give such a bloom. And for sweets by the powers, a whole garden of flowers never gave their own bowers such a darling perfume. Then the liquor so rare, if you're wishing to share, to be turning your hair when it's grizzled or red. Sure, the sod has the merit to make the true spirit so strong it'll turn both your hair and your head. Then stick to the crater, the best thing in nature, for sinking your sorrows and raising your joys. Oh, since its perfection, no doctor's direction can guard the complexion like whiskey, me boys. Whilst a child in the cradle, my nurse with a ladle was filling my mouth with an ocean of pap, when a drop from the bottle slipped into me throttle, I capered and wriggled clean out of her lap. On the floor I lay sprawling and kicking and bawling, till father and mother were both to the fore. All sobbing and sighing, conceived I was dying, but soon found I only was screeching for more. So stick to the crater, for best thing in nature, for sinking your sorrows and raising your joys. Och, whack, how they'd chuckle if babes in their truckle could suckle on whiskey, me boys. Through my youthful progression to years of discretion,
My childhood's impressions still clung to me mind, for at school or at college the bolus of knowledge I never could gulp till with whiskey combined. And as older I'm growing, time's ever bestowing on Aaron's potation a flavor so fine that howe'er they may lecture about Java and his nectar, itself is the only true liquor divine. Then stick to the crater, the best thing in nature, for sinking your sorrows and raising your joys. Oh, what is delighting for courting and fighting, there's not so exciting as whiskey, me boys. Let philosophers dabble in science and babble about oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen's fame. For their gin to my thinking is not worth the drinking, their labor's all lost and their learning a dream. They may prate by the score of their elements four, that all things earth, air, fire, and water must be. For their rules I don't care, for in Ireland I swear by St. Pat there's a fifth, and that's whiskey muckery. So stick to the crater, the best thing in nature, for sinking your sorrows and raising your joys. Ah, whack art and science, meself bids defiance to yield in appliance to whiskey, me boys. Come guess me this riddle, what beats pipes and fiddle, what's stronger than mustard and milder than cream, what best wets your whistle, what's clearer than crystal and sweeter than honey and stronger than steam, what'll make the dumb talk, what'll make the lame walk, what's the elixir of life and philosopher's stone, and what helped Mr. Brunel to dig the Thames Tunnel? Wasn't it whiskey, me boys, from old Inishowen? Then stick to the crater, the best thing in nature, for sinking your sorrows and raising your joys. Och, what I'd not wonder if lightning and thunder was made from the plunder of whiskey, me boys.
That's a good one. Now, explain the word throttle. Is that the throat? It's kind of a play on it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You all know what poutine is, right?
Oh, I've had some.
Yeah. Oh, that's ferocious stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It'll tear you up.
Okay. Okay. We're getting down there. So back to the normal order thing is Mary Jane.
Okay.
Just mute yourself at this point, I think.
That's fine. Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to go along with the theme, the drinking theme, only this song is about a different Patty on the railway. It's about an immigrant working in the U.S., but he does glorify the drink, but he what the demon is work itself. The lousy job he's got, among other things that bring him down. But the booze brings him up. So so it seems to be on the same theme, at least. And it's only got two chords, D minor and C. That's the key I'm doing it in. In 1841, I put my corduroy breeches on. I put my corduroy breeches on to work upon the railway. Fill-a-me-oorie-oorie-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1842, I left the old world for the new. Bad cess the luck that brought me through to work upon the railway. left Ireland to come here and spend his latter days in cheer. His bosses, they did drink strong beer while Pat worked on the railway. Fill-a-me-oody-oody-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. It's Pat do this and Pat do that without a stocking or cravat and nothing but an old straw hat to work upon the railway. And when Pat lays him down to sleep, the wiry bugs around him creep, and the devil a bit can poor Pat sleep while working on the railway. Fill-a-me-oody-oody-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1843, 'twas then I met sweet Biddy McGee, and an elegant wife she made for me while working on the railway. In 1846, they pelted me with stones and sticks, and I was in one hell of a fix from working on the railway. Fill-a-me-oody-oody-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1847, poor Biddy, she died and went to heaven. If she left one child, she left 11 to work upon the railway. In 1848, I learned to take me whiskey straight. 'Tis an elegant drink and can't be bait for working on the railway. Fill-a-me-oody-oody-ay, 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 to work upon the railway.
Very good. Very good.
Yay!
Spirited. Well,
So I think that's a good point, that song, because working on the railway meant building the railway, laying track.
yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't any motels to sleep in at night.
Work that there was to do. That's what the immigrants got.
Yeah.
Familiar?
The navvies working on the railway. All right. If you guys would
dangerous.
go ahead, David.
Dangerous. It's unpleasant. It's hard work. It's backbreaking.
Yeah.
What immigrants get to do.
Yep.
And that's what that song's about.
Okay, well, I'm going to do something a little more cheerful just to get us just towards the end here. So, if you guys would mute, that'd be great. All right, I've done this before. In the 19th century, there was a whole bunch of songs about the rose of Tralee, the rose of this, rose of the other. This is the rose of Allendale. It is very Victorian in its language, and all these songs about these wonderful women who wait for their adventurer husbands or service husbands who work in far distant lands, or they go with them in far distant lands. It's really a kind of a testament to womanhood and uprightness and moral fortitude in the female gender. The morn was fair, the skies were clear, no breath came over the sea, when Mary left her Highland cot and wandered forth with me. The flowers decked the mountainside, and fragrance filled the vale. My father's sweetest flower there was the rose of Allendale. 'Twas a rose of Allendale. 'Twas a rose of Allendale. My father's sweetest flower there was the rose of Allendale. Where'er I wander, east or west, though fate begins to lower, her solace still is she to me in sorrow's lonely hour. When tempest racked her gallant bark and rent her shivering sail, one maiden form withstood the storm, the rose of Allendale. 'Twas a rose of Allendale. 'Twas a rose of Allendale. One maiden form withstood the storm, the rose of Allendale. And when my fevered lips were parched on Afric's burning sands, she whispered hopes of happiness and tales of distant lands. My life had been a wilderness, unblessed by fortune's gale. Had fate not linked my lot to hers, the rose of Allendale. 'Twas a rose of Allendale. 'Twas a rose of Allendale. Had fate not linked my lot to hers, was a rose of Allendale. 'Twas a rose of Allendale. 'Twas a rose of Allendale. Had fate not linked my lot to hers, 'twas the rose of Allendale.
Lovely. Beautiful.
Yay!
Yes, very nice.
That's I took that from the Corries. That was a Scottish duo in the 60s and 70s called the Corries, and they were really good harmonies and taking the old songs. So that's their arrangement. Okay, moving right along now to David. In the last 30 minutes, we may finish 5 minutes early just to get some time off.
You're the boss. I think I've done this one before, but I just feel like doing it again.
Could you mute Mary, please?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
It's a song from one of Shakespeare's plays called Twelfth Night. And I didn't have to come up with a tune for it because in a contemporary music book, they published this melody for the song. And it's sung by the clown, whose name is Fest, which means a feast or a celebration. Oh, mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, stay and hear your true love's coming. Oh, stay and hear your true love's coming, that can sing both high and low. Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journeys end in lovers' meeting.
every wise man's son doth know. What is love? 'Tis not hereafter. What is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Present mirth hath present laughter. Present mirth hath present laughter. What's to come is still unsure. In delay there lies no plenty, so come kiss me, sweet and 20. Youth such stuff will not endure. In delay there lies no plenty, so come kiss me, sweet and 20. Youth's a stuff will not endure.
Very nice. That's such a lovely tune as well. So, all right, Mary Jane,
Okay.
we will mute ourselves.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to do one that I've done before, only it was way back in May. So maybe you don't remember hearing me do it. That's what I'm hoping. I think I did it at Terry's Song Circle before I knew there was going to be any Celtic music, and so I kind of messed myself up by doing it back then. And I don't think we even got a very good recording of it either. It's called The Great Silky, and it's probably my favorite Scottish song. And it is depressing, so it should be well received. An earthly nurse sits and sings, and she sings by lily wing. Little can I, my bairn's father, far less the land where he dwells in. Then up stepped he to her bed feet, and a grumbly guest I'm sure was he, saying, here am I, thy bairn's father, although I be not comely. I am a man upon the land, I am as silky on the sea, and when I'm far and far from land, my home is in the Scary. It was no wheel, quoth the maiden fair. It was no wheel, indeed, quoth she, that the great Silky of Scary should have come and hold to bear to me. Then he has taken a purse of gold, and he has put it on her knee, saying, give to me my little young son, and take me up my nurse's feet. It shall come to pass on a summer's day, when the sun shines bright on every stain, I'll come and fetch my fine young son, and teach him how to swim the Fame. And ye shall marry a gunner good, and a right fine gunner I'm sure he'll be, and the very first shot that day he'll shoot, he'll kill both my young son and me. Alas, alas, the maiden cried, this weary fate's been laid for thee. And so she said, and then she cried, I'll bury me in the Scarry.
Nice.
It gives me goosebumps every time I.
I get goosebumps too when I see it.
Go. I didn't quite get it because I didn't know that in the lyrics, a gunner refers to a harpooner, somebody out hunting whales and seals and so forth. I thought it.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that, so I was never. It always. Well, what can I say? Every version I've ever seen had it like that.
Yeah, gunner is what is in there, but
Yeah.
it means somebody who throws a harpoon.
Yeah.
Out hunting sea creatures like whales and seals and stuff like that.
It's such a fine supernatural switch in there.
Yeah.
How they know that?
Maybe they're making an allusion to him throwing the harpoon at the Silky and hitting square in the eyes or whatever.
Yeah, that's a great song. Very good. All right, I'm going to do one more. If you could switch off your switcher. You put my dog to sleep during a stretch behind me. She slept all the way through the great Silky. Then she woke.
But he was awake for I'm a dog.
Love that one. Love that one. Okay, this is a song for Ireland. Great Irish song written by an Englishman, as many are. Well, could you mute yourself, please, Mary Jane? Sorry.
No, sorry.
I heard your laugh. It was a nice laugh, but there you go. Walking all the day by tall towers where falcons build their nest, silver winged they fly, they know the call of freedom in their breast. So black-head against the sky, where twisted rocks run down to the sea. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunsets, asked for more. I stood by your Atlantic Sea, and I sang a song for Ireland. Talking all the day with true friends who try to make you stay, telling jokes and news and singing songs to pass the time away. Watch the Galway salmon run like silver darting, dancing in the sun. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunsets, asked for more. I stood by your Atlantic sea, and I sang a song for Ireland. Drinking all the day in old pubs where fiddlers love to play. So one touched the bow, he played a reel which seemed so grand and gay. Stood on Dingo Beach and cast in wild foam we found Atlantic bass, living on your western shore. Saw summer sunsets, asked for more, stood by your Atlantic sea, and sang a song for Ireland. Dreaming in the night, I saw a land where no one had to fight. But waking in your dawn, I saw you crying in the morning light. Lying where the falcons fly, they twist and turn, all in your air blue sky. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunsets, asked for more. I stood by your Atlantic sea, and then sang a song for Ireland. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunsets, asked for more. I stood by your Atlantic sea, and I sang a song for Ireland.
Dandy. Love it. Do you know an Englishman wrote Danny
Yeah,
Boy?
not only did I know it, but I had it in the same key as you.
Yeah, an Englishman wrote Danny Boy.
Right.
Well, that island was part of them. They were legally. That's
Act of
okay.
Union. The Act of Union.
That's right.
No
Uh,
one.
all right, David. I think why don't you do one? Let's see, Mary. Why don't you do one more, and then that take us out? I think
All right.
we'll let people quit up. We'll give people 7 minutes off. So
Sorry that? What? Give people what?
we'll give people 7 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes of leeway. So
Sure. Okay, so this is a song. For years I wanted to do it, but I had only heard the melody. And the melody was so wonderful, I said, I have to sing that song. Well, much to my consternation, I found out the song was all in Irish. So I set to work, and I found that there were a number of English translations, but they didn't really capture the essence of the Irish original. So I set to work the same way I did with the Dark Slender Boy, and I came up with this, but it's only some of the verses. It has multiple verses, some of which are really difficult to translate at all, much less into a singable version. It's called Donald Og, which means young Donald, and it's sung from the point of view of a woman who has this huge crush on this young man, and it's going nowhere, and she's kind of upset about it, to put it mildly. Oh, Donald Og, if you're going
daughter for your bed companion. I gave my love to you when I was but a small girl. I gave it greater when I was grown and mighty. Nothing like the love of the lamb for the sheep, but a strong eternal love that can't be broken. On a Sunday, I gave my love to you. On the Sunday, just before Easter Sunday, you were on your knees reading of the Passion. And my two eyes were sending eternal love to you. My mother told me not to speak to you, not today or tomorrow or on the Lord's day. It was an evil time. She gave me that warning. It was locking the door after the thieving. If you come here after dark has fallen, knock at the door, not creaking on its hinges. My mother will ask you, woe are your people? I'll be saying for you, it's the whisper of the wind. Oh, Duddle-log, I would be good with you. Not a stuck-up noble woman. I would milk the cow and do the churning. And if time things were hard, I would make a blow for you. And you promised me, and you gave me a falsehood. You would meet me where the sheep are folded. I let out whistles and 200 shoutings, but there was nothing there but the lambs a-bleating. My affliction is black as the snow, as black as the coal that is in the forge, as black as the coal that, as black as a shoe sole in a white hall. And as sadness has covered up all my laughter, you have taken the east and the west from me. You have taken what's in front and what's behind me. You have taken the bright moon and the sun from me, and my fear is great. You have taken God from me.
Yay! Well done. All right. Take us home now, David, with the parting. Oh, thanks, everyone. Thanks for the diehards who remained to the bitter end. the three music tears.
Okay. I can play the parting glass too, so I'm going to mute and accompany.
Excellent. So see you all next time. Take it away, David.
Oh, all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company. And all the harm that I ever did, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, if I had money enough to spend and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lip, I own she has my heart enthralled. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades there I had, they're sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts I ever knew, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. I'll softly rise and I'll gently call, good night and joy be with you all.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Mary Jane.
Okay, that was, and
Good.
it is 5, it looks like, so we made it.
We got blind David for a long
The
time.
skin of our teeth.
Anyway, it's great as usual. My bacteria is going away on my 4th antibiotic, so I'm good now. So we'll see you again.
Okay, next week.
Bye.
Bye. Leave.